Hello, this is Jessica Gill, and I'm the instructor for Nursing Informatics. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and walk you through the creation of an SPSS database, as well as the basic interpretations of the data that will be expected in your database project. And this database is created based on the scenario which is posted here, where an inpatient nurse recognizes that there's high levels of pain in these individuals that's not well relieved, and also that the individuals who are least receptive to this pain and report higher pain levels are often those individuals who are older. So the idea of this is to create a database to capture some of this as well as to analyze the data. So the first thing that comes up when you open up the program is you get something like this. So you want to indicate if you want to use a save file or if you want to create a new one. So we're going to go ahead and do a new one, but we're not going to do the tutorial, and that's going to hopefully pop us up a database. There's our database. So what we often have are databases that are created in Excel. So I'm going to show you how to take an Excel created database and put it into SPSS. So the thing that you're going to do is copy, and you don't want to put the intervals up at the top with the labels because that will be included as data, and that makes it really difficult. So we're going to go ahead and do these patients. We're just going to copy it. We're going to pull up our Excel, go up here, show you, it's a little bit low. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this and paste it in. Now what I have to do is go ahead and relabel these, but I can just go in here and participant number, the other, let's see, age. So we're just going to create one variable after another. The next one is pain level. And these are all numeric. Oops. Pain underscore level. There we go. And then I'm going to get, and this is, the next one was level of pain following intervention. Okay, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and labeled the variables that we have. So we have the pain level, and that's 0 to 10. We have the pain level after an intervention, so I went ahead and labeled this a little bit more under the label, as well as the number of interventions while pain is controlled, number of inpatient days, satisfaction with the hospital, ICU severity on the score, and then the last one I want to show you, this is gender, so I'm going to go ahead and put a code in here. And the way that we did it, let me move this over a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and put values in. Let me show you that again in case you missed it. So you go on this, click this, the blue comes up, 1 equals woman, add, 2, man, add, and then you go OK. So now you've got this. So it's no longer a scale type variable, it's nominal. And of course, nominal is the thing that they can't overlap. You can't be a man and a woman, although, hey, you never know, but that's about as dichotomous as you can get. So, whoops, I'm going to put that back because I realize you're not seeing that, so I'm going to go ahead and move this over and show you. So you've got scale variables, so all of these have an equal number between 0 and 1, 1 and 2. But in this, we have something that's nominal, so we go ahead and put nominal there. So now we've got our variable view. Bring this over and show you. So now we've got the variable view here, and now we're going to go back to our data. So we've got our data entered here. So now we want to kind of understand our data. Okay, so let's go ahead and start thinking about how we can look at the dispersions of some of our data so we can kind of think about the relationships between the variables. So age is one of the things that we want to do. We want to look at pain level, pain. So we'll look at a lot of these different variables. And the first way we're going to do it is we're going to go up to Analyze, and we're going to go back. We're going to go to Descriptive Reports, and we can go to Frequencies. Let's do this first, and let me show you how to do this. So I did this already. So let's go ahead and put everything over here. So if you have something that you want to put in, you highlight. If you want to move it back over, you go ahead and do this. And what's nice about SPSS is you can run multiple things at a time, and you'll get a long output, but everything will be there. So we go ahead and do that. And so what we're going to get is something like this. Let me go up to the top so we can see all this from the beginning. Okay, maximize this, and then let's go up. Okay, so we've got all the different things, and we've got pain level listed here. So we've got the frequency of each of the pain levels listed, and we've got the same thing following the intervention, as well as the number of interventions till pain was controlled, the score on the ICU, number of inpatient days, and basically we've got all the reports here. So basically what we're looking at is we're looking at the frequency and the percentage reported, and that's within the entire group. The other thing that I wanted to look at closely was the age. So we want to go ahead and look at if there's a variable where half the group is dichotomized. So how can we possibly look at different group differences based on possibly dichotomizing them into older versus younger? So we see this here, but let's go ahead and do something a little different too. Let's go ahead and go to some graphs. So let's look at some charts that we can do. That's fine. And what I'm going to do first is look at box plot. And the reason I'll show you why the reason I like box plots. So we're going to go ahead and do this. And we're going to see if we do this. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do a box plot of age. We'll see if we can do that. Okay. Oops. Looks like we canceled out, but okay. So what we want to do, so we've got the descriptives here, but let's go ahead and graph them because we want to see some of these again. So let me go ahead and analyze some of these. Okay, so I think before we graph, let's go ahead and make another variable. And the reason I'm going to do this is that way we can test between different groups. So I'm going to go ahead and make a group variable here. And this is going to be a group variable on age. And we're going to go ahead and let's put our values in. 1 equals younger. And then 2 is older. Okay, so that works there. And then we're going to go back and create that variable specifically. So we've got 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so now we have the variable, so now we can do some analysis. So let's go ahead and analyze, compare the means. This is the best way to go about looking at the means between these two groups. And let me show you how to go ahead and do this. So just you go to compare means, one-way ANOVA. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the group in that we just created. And actually I'm going to do one thing before I do this because I did forget to do something with the data view. That's important. So when we look at the variable view, again, we're going to want to change this from a continuous variable to a nominal variable. And most of the time it doesn't make any difference with the analysis, but I always want to just be sure that everything's categorized correctly. So let's go ahead and do that again. So let's go ahead and we're going to compare means, because that means that we're going to compare two different groups on one measure. So we're going to go ahead and put our group in, and then we're going, actually, I'm sorry, we're going to put the group in down here. And then we're going to put in, let's put in the pain level. Let's put the pain following intervention and the number of interventions, and let's just see what we get from this. Okay, so we're going to get some different things here. So with the one-way ANOVA, let me pull this down and show you what's going on. So we're getting differences in the pain level. So it looks like it's very different. We're also getting differences in the pain level following intervention, as well as the number of interventions controlled. And that's really significant considering how small this database is. So we know that there's a group difference, but we don't know how dramatic that difference is. So what we want to do is maybe go to doing some graphs. So let's go ahead and do this. And we're going to go up and do some graphs. So let's think about things that we want to do. Just clicking that out. Okay, let's go ahead and do some graphing with this. So what we do when we do this is we go to graphs. Oops, let me pull you up so you can see where I'm going. Okay, and what I'd like to say before we move on to doing the graphs is that what I like to do is to save the outputs of this. And what you do is you can see all the outputs as you go through. So you're seeing the frequency scores that we did as well as the ANOVA. So what you can do is go ahead and just save it. And sometimes I like to save it as I'm going along. So you just go ahead and save it. I won't go through that step with you. But basically it just gets saved like a Word document, but it's an output of your data. And then this is what you're going to use as you put in your reports, or these summary squares. Okay, so let's go ahead and do one or two more things with the analysis before we do some graph building. Let's go ahead and analyze things that we may think that there is a relation between. So one of the easiest ways to do that is a bivariate. So you've got to pick two of the variables that you think are related and are continuous. You can't pick the grouping variables. And we're going to look and see if there's a relation between this. So let's go ahead and put age. Even though this is a really small sample, it might not come out. Let's go ahead and put age and pain level in. And so if it comes out significantly, it means that age is related to pain level. So we're getting a really high correlation. So we're getting a positive correlation. So that means that with an increased age, you have an increased pain level. Let's go ahead and do just one or two more of these to see about relations between these variables. Okay, so let's go ahead and do one more correlation. Let's go ahead and put pain level back, and let's put number of stay or satisfaction with hospital. So do older people differ in the way they judge the hospital? Okay, and it looks like they do. So we've got this down here, this negative 0.6. So what this is saying is that the satisfaction is lower when the age is higher. That's that negative correlation. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more, because this is giving us our relational information, and it's just so easy to do in SPSS. This is one of the definite advantages of using SPSS. And so what we can do is go ahead and let's go ahead and put, let's see if pain level, I'm going to put back age, and I'm going to see if pain level relates to satisfaction with the hospital stay. Okay. So what we're getting is still a very high correlation. So with more pain, the individuals are less satisfied overall. So again, that really informs a lot of the information that we're trying to get from this database project and kind of validates what is going on within this data. So we've run a lot of things. So the main things that you want to do are frequencies. You want to look at your data before you analyze. Sometimes it's nice to do a grouping variable if you can find that there's a natural group within that, or if you think that one group differs from the other. So age is a good one, gender is another good one, or you can dichotomize based on, say, a longer hospital stay, so long versus short, or long, medium, and short. You can put it into a couple different groups also to do that, and then that becomes a little bit more complicated, but I'm happy to address that if that becomes somebody's concern. So we've got this data, and then so we could do the group variables, and the other way to look at relationships between continuous variables is that bivariate correlation. And basically when you go through there, you can see which variables are related to each other, and that's across the groups unless you further break it down by groups, but usually we just do across groups to see the relationships. So let's go ahead and do some graph building. Okay, so let's go ahead and use some graphs. So what we do, let me pull you up so you can see this, is first we go to Analyze. So we're going to go to Analyze, I'm sorry, we're going to go to Graphs and Chart Builder. It's a long day. Okay, so this is what I've done so far, but first I'm going to walk you through the steps. So I'm just going to pretend like this is not done.